here next time on Disruptive Health. And until then, I'm Dr. Brown. Take care.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Broadcasting from Now Media Network's headquarters in Houston, this is Purple Politics, hosted by political expert and commentator Alina Gonzalez-Dockery. Join us to discuss the most important issues affecting our nation with fresh, balanced, and objective discussion on the first bilingual media network in the United States. Purple Politics starts right now.
It is good to be back. After 3 weeks away, I have missed you all so very much. And also the ability to go, what the heck is going on with our judiciary and our judicial system? But first, I want to commemorate today. Today is the 80th anniversary of D-Day, that momentous fight and battle on Normandy Beach that turned the tide in World War II. And in thinking back on this 80th anniversary of D-Day, we are also marking 10 years since we've had a veteran of that great generation, the greatest generation, World War II veterans, in our Congress. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, some would say we probably had the greatest congressional bipartisan working Congress ever, especially compared to the dysfunction and the brattiness, and don't even get me on MTG, and on the squads on both sides. But when you look back during that time, they would get into their ideological differences. They would defend and debate their conservative versus democratic values. However, the one thing that joined that particular congressional members was the belief that America, the United States of America, first and foremost, government played an integral role in securing and promoting the growth and continuing the inspiration and the theories behind our congressional members, or behind our founders, if you will. That great generation of congressional members, they were the last of the great statesmen. We may see some pop up here and there in our current Senate and Congress, congressional members. However, it is sorely missed, the ability to put aside your political agenda, put aside your political identification, and actually look to what is in the best interest of this country. And we're marking 10 years of the last time we've had a World War II veteran in our congressional members. let's look back at some of the greatest things that these men were able to accomplish. We're talking civil rights legislation, voting rights laws, commercial and environmental regulations, and also allowing the private sector to have certain research that was government that helped bolster, initiate, and grow some of the greatest companies we have here in the United States. I bring this up because, one, we need to commemorate this auspicious anniversary of D-Day, but also because, as I stated, especially to those closest to me, friends, and to you, my audience, why I believe we need to get back to a common sense in our politics. We need statesmen, not politicians. We need leaders, people who know how to govern. It's because our country is in a spiral. We now have witnessed, first time in history, and we're talking Civil War. We are talking, since our Constitution, since the birth of this country, the first time a former president has been convicted on a politicized, tricked up charges in New York State. And I will say that I am absolutely embarrassed, flabbergasted. I was stunned when the jury came back. And I don't blame the jury. They were doing what they were told by the judge. I'm just saying the judge, the prosecutors, the AG, Attorney General Bragg, they all had an agenda. I mean, we had liberal and conservative legal experts all saying the same thing. This is political. This is not America. This is not the United States. This is not how our judicial system is supposed to work. You are not supposed to gear all the laws, change the rules, trump up things just to go after one man. And it's not just this supposed the financial mischaracterization of a hush money. First of all, let's say it. Hush money, paying off a hooker, paying off a prostitute, paying off a porn star to keep quiet so that she doesn't blab to the news like, hey, I screwed this candidate back in 2005 is not illegal. Because if it were illegal, Bill Clinton, President Clinton, who paid off a mistress $850,000 to keep quiet, for all of those congressional members that have slid some money to keep people quiet for sexual harassment or illicit sex, would all be up on charges. But that wasn't the case. Hush money, as abhorrent as it may be, as many of you might get up on the moral, soapbox going, it was wrong. It is not illegal. Not illegal. Now, I have my personal opinion that Michael Cohen really did some weird things. But yes, Trump had been found guilty on all 34 counts in this hush money case by New York jury. And it is the first time a former president was convicted. Despite this unprecedented legal setback, Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee, continues to push forward in his campaign and has, since this conviction came out, since the jury came out and convicted him, which we still don't know what the underlying felony charge was in order to trump up these misdemeanor counts for falsifying business records from a misdemeanor to a felony. We still don't know what that was. I mean, I'm telling you, there are so many issues. I am not a criminal defense attorney, but I have heard and spoken to as many as I could, and we're still trying to figure out, we're still scratching our heads how this trial would even fall under proper due process that we all are entitled to. But you know what? Trump, since this, has had one of the biggest financial gains in campaign finances and campaign contributions. $53 million was raised in 24 hours. Vast majority of it, $38 million, according to the Trump campaign, from small money donors. That means the little person. We're not even including some of these big time PACs, these mega companies and individuals that are throwing 6 and 7 figure donations since this conviction came down. And following this verdict, of course, Trump is vehemently defending himself, claiming the victim. And honestly, he was. He is a victim. He is a victim of his own ego. He is a victim of his own inability to just say, yeah, okay, I messed around with the porn star back in 2005. But he is a victim of a politicized judicial system. And New York is so complicit in this, how this has occurred. And let's go through the facts. The legislature changed the statute of limitations for someone to bring a civil lawsuit on alleged sexual assault for literally 1 year, gave a 1 year window. And the reason why was so that E. Jean Carroll could file her lawsuit against Donald Trump for allegations that stemmed 30 plus years ago. And that initial trial, which was for a $5 million award, did not find that she was raped. She was not raped. The jurors said no. And by the way, civil litigation, you only need a preponderance of the evidence, clear and convincing. You don't even need what you need for a criminal, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, which this criminal case had a ton of errors, had a lot of doubt in it. And this man is being victimized. We also have another New York Attorney General who brought a civil lawsuit against his alleged fraud that he committed on banks that are still doing business with him, and stated that they are not victimized, but yet doesn't go after any other real estate investors or real estate moguls in New York. It was only specifically directed to Trump. That is a weaponization of our judicial system. That is what people are now calling lawfare. Instead of warfare, it's lawfare. One thing is for certain. This is not how we conduct ourselves in the United States. This is not constitutional. This isn't right. Hang your hat some other way. Stop doing the identification politics or this, oh, we're going after Trump. I mean, literally, this is what people are running on and bending the rules to go after this one guy. And I don't know why New Yorkers hate Donald Trump. They didn't like him before he became president. They especially don't like him now. But this is wrong on all accounts. And the Biden campaign, meanwhile, emphasized that no one is above the law and predicted that Trump would indeed be the Republican nominee. And they can't wait and are celebrating that they get to call him a convicted felon. Watch what you wish for, because Hunter Biden, who is currently on trial, which a lot of this is attributed to his dad, President Biden, because of the lying about the laptop, saying it was Russian collusion, and of course everybody was going to drive into it, is now no longer above the law and is on trial. We're going to cut to a quick break, and we're going to continue my railing probably against the judicial system, because as a citizen, as an attorney, as someone who truly believes in the greatness of this country and the beauty that what we have is our judicial system, our constitutional rights, our 3 branches of government, we are in a world of hurt. And something has to be done. And the weaponization of the DOJ, the weaponization of our civil and criminal courts is not the way to do it. I am Alina Gonzalez-Dockery. Tune right back after this quick commercial break.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company that time you're spent with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
Okay. So yes, I am going off on a tangent about this because I truly do believe that one of the greatest gifts that we have in this country is that we have the constitutional right to due process. We have the right for a jury of our peers to hear a trial and to determine beyond a reasonable doubt with full unanimity that someone is guilty. And in Trump's case, the judge was openly hostile towards Trump. Hey, Trump is not probably the most warm and fuzzy, likable person either. And yes, he may have caused that because of the gag orders and things like that. However, this judge was very hostile towards the defense. He gave everything to the prosecutors, right or wrong. There was so many things that were inadmissible allowed to be placed into evidence or even remarked in closing arguments. That was unbelievable. And I will be the first to say that whenever Trump used to say, I'm fighting these battles to protect you from it, stating us, the people, we the people, I'm now believing it, because here's what's the scariest thing is because now this opens a Pandora's box of tit for tat. And what I mean by that is now you're having Republicans, you're having allegations of Trump saying this too, that Republican allies, conservative commentators are all saying that we need to have retaliatory measures against Democrats in response to this felony conviction. Because enough is enough. Like, this broke the dam. So we have prominent GOP leaders urging elected Republican state attorneys, attorney generals to use their power for targeted investigations and prosecutions against Democrats. This demand for retribution is unprecedented in its intensity and breadth, with figures like Stephen Miller and Stephen Bannon, who, by the way, just lost his three-judicial panel appeal, and is ordered to go to jail in 4 weeks unless the full panel appellate court takes on the appeal, is vocalizing the need for aggressive legal actions. Miller, a former senior advisor to Trump, has been particularly outspoken, urging Republican district attorneys to launch investigations and use all means available to them. Senator Marco Rubio and other Trump allies have echoed these sentiments, arguing that the justice system should be used to combat what they perceive as politically motivated prosecution. Anybody else having the what the bleep is going on? How does this help? This does not. To say for senators such as Marco Rubio, who is an attorney by education, I wouldn't say by trade. I don't know if he actually really practiced in a courtroom or much thereof, because he went straight into politics soon thereafter. But how the heck does this help anyone? How does that help us, we the people? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if we further, no, it's already begun. If we further the weaponization of the judicial system against big fish like Trump, and Trump is a big whale. He's not even a fish. He is a frickin' whale that they targeted. How does then it not go against an individual like myself, who will clearly speak out against politicians and criticize them, whether openly on air or in private? How does that prevent the judicial system or political opponents now looking at other ones and saying, you know what, I don't like what he said. I don't want him to win. Oh, he's catching up on polls. We got to find something. Oh, he ran a stoplight. Oh, he had this. And I'm a woman. I am totally believe that we have the ability to have everything that careers and all that. But I will be the first one to say I could care less if an individual diddled with someone that was not their spouse. Is it morally wrong? Absolutely. But you know what? President Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, everybody loves JFK. The guy spent over half of his presidential efforts trying to bag women. And those women were hushed up. Teddy Kennedy, they were trying to hush up all of his affairs so he could run for president back in the 70s. Bill Clinton. I mean, my God, he was putting cigars up, the hoo-has of Monica Lewinsky, who was in her early 20s, a young intern, no political prosecution. Let's even give a better example, a more recent one. Hillary Clinton was fined only $8,000 for her Russian-gate. Her explicit lie stating that Trump was in collusion of Russia and there was Russian collusion for him to beat her in the 2016 presidential election. And she, who started it, was collaborated and was known by President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden, was only fined $8,000. And let's not forget that she actually kept top secret classified documents on a private server that she then destroyed so she wouldn't get in trouble. But hey, again, Trump's history of seeking legal retribution against political adversaries is not new. Hearing this from the likes of Marco Rubio and other congressional members and senatorial members, especially like Marjorie Taylor Greene, is not surprising. However, like when I said in my first opening, we are desperate for people, for leaders to be leaders, for governance, those that actually put America first, not hiding into the differences. Let's find our commonality. Let's get back to some type of common sense. But when you have the likes of Rubio, and honestly, I started like getting a little more respect for Rubio, seeing what he was doing, and then he does this. 70%, that is what the poll shows. 70% of the average American person is not an extremist on either side, and they just want to keep their heads down, provide for their families, have a good life, be able to enjoy this existence without all of this turmoil. We are a mockery on the international stage. And this also begs the question, where is the constitutional necessity? Where are the constitutionalists? I mean, Mike, House Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, constitutional lawyer, actually litigated. Yes, he says there's some constitutional issues here. Actually, I have to say, I appreciate his level-headedness. He's not calling for for this weaponization or further weaponization of our judicial system. We, the people, need to stand up. You and I, because there's 70% of us that are saying enough is enough. We need to start putting our voices heard, whether it's in local government, whether it's state government, and especially in Congress, because yes, the presidential election is a big deal. But I will tell you what is a bigger deal is those congressional members. And we'll get into that mockery, because it is a mockery, what is happening, because the political identity politics, the total subjugation of what is right versus wrong, and it's my way or the highway, and we're going to take our toys and go away if you don't play with us, and we're going to do this. I mean, it's just like, don't even get me on MTG. It's a mockery. Our judicial system is supposed to be above this. Justice is blind for a reason. It is not supposed to be towards one individual. You're not supposed to go after one individual. You don't go after one person just because of their political ideations. You don't go after anyone just for retaliation. Hunter Biden is in his, yes, he did wrong. Yes, he deserves to be punished for tax evasion and maybe possibly this, even though I think there's going to be a jury nullification. We'll get into that more later. However, this trial is because the congressional members were digging and digging. Of course, the Republicans were going to keep digging into the Russian gate and the false laptop. But I'm going to implore Marco Rubio, shame on you for saying that we should retaliate. Shame on you. You're an attorney. You took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, not only as a senator of the United States of America, but as an attorney. Start acting it. Ted Cruz, I call you out too, because actually sometimes you say some pithy things and you're a smart cookie. Now's the time to get common sense back. That is what we're begging you for. And what I say to my audience is absolutely, we need common sense. We need to get away from the DNC and the RNC because they have been so corrupted. All of this is corrupt. But I will go out on the record and saying what Trump has been going through is wrong on so many levels. No one should be going through this. This occurs in Cuba. This occurs in communist China. Look at, and I didn't even bring up, but maybe next week we'll explore that, how residents of Hong Kong were just found guilty under a kangaroo court for their cries for democracy. We are not communists. We are not socialists. But hell, we're looking like a frickin' banana republic, aren't we? We can do better. You and I deserve better. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to start talking about some other legal wranglings among the congressional members versus Merrick Garland. So tune back in after these commercial break.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Merrick Garland's uphill battle navigating controversy with 3 special counsel investigations. Last summer, a pivotal meeting took place in Attorney General Merrick Garland's conference room, where special counsel Robert Hur revealed a sensitive recording of President Biden discussing classified information from 2017. The meeting left Garland and his team stunned as they processed the implications of Biden knowingly discussing classified materials with an unauthorized person. Oh, and by the way, he was unauthorized to even keep it. He was only vice president. Let's put that note out there because that was another charge against Trump. Garland's questions about the ghostwriter's cooperation and legal representation underscored the gravity of the situation and his commitment to a thorough investigation. Garland, who has overseen 3 significant special counsel investigations involving President Biden, his son Hunter, and former President Donald Trump, has faced criticism from both political parties. His adherence to a by-the-book approach has left him isolated and without strong allies, especially as the White House's relationship with him has been strained. This isolation is compounded by doubts about his ability to navigate the harsh political landscape while maintaining the integrity of the Justice Department. That could be laughable. Okay, but Merrick Garland has to wear the crown, the suit, whatever you want to put it. He took on the pendulum of this nasty weaponization of our judicial system, and he is He may not be the head of the snake. It may have been initiated, and it looks as if it was initiated by this administration. But he's definitely complicit in all of it. And let's face it, the only reason why Hunter Biden's cases are more out there is because of the two-sided judicial system that he was faring as well. The stakes for Garland are high, particularly with Trump's unprecedented conviction by local prosecutors in Manhattan, which has intensified partisan divides and Republican distrust in the judicial system. It has also heightened the average American's distrust in the judicial system, which is sad. Hur's investigation into Biden was closed in February without charges, but not because he said Biden was totally innocent, because Hur found that Biden would not be able to stand trial because his inability to remember facts. He would be ineffective to assist in his defense. Basically saying that he was senile, but, inferring, I should say, not saying, inferring that there was a senility issue when it came to Biden. And the controversy further got stoked up when Garland refused to release the audio recording of Biden. Garland defended his action before the House Judiciary Committee, emphasizing the importance of non-interference in an ongoing investigation. But yet the investigation was closed. Hur stated that there will not be a prosecution based on the fact that he felt that President Biden was too confused, had memory issues, and would not be able to provide proper assistance to his defense. And the Judiciary Committee, the House, wants these tapes because they are now wanting to question whether a sitting president who is ineffective, if they were to bring charges, should be actually running this government and being a leader of the free world. I don't know. I would like to know whether or not Biden is competent, because he definitely has shown bouts of incapacity. His capacity continues to be questioned by both Democrats and Republicans and independents. While Garland contends with the Biden case, special counsel Jack Smith's investigations into Trump have been delayed in court, potentially postponing a trial until after the election. Concurrently, Hunter Biden's legal troubles over gun and tax charges are unfolding slowly in separate courtrooms across the nation. Both Trump and Biden's legal teams have harshly criticized the special counsels involved in their cases, accusing them of bias and mishandling the investigations. Let's rewind. With Hunter Biden, he was going to get a sweetheart deal, like a sweetheart deal that would have swept no jail time, no anything. Oh, and by the way, we're not going to charge you or go after you for any of the tax evasion. We're just going to blanket it. And this was all going to be under the guise of a pretrial diversion program, which the judge questioned, going, whoa, wait a minute. We're dealing with pretrial diversion on this gun charge, but yet you're sweeping everything and even potential future crimes under this. That wasn't right. That's why I get blown up. But then on the other hand, then you have supposed insurrection and stuff when there was no insurrection. It was a riot by a gang of people, and others stupidly got swept up in the fervor to go into, without weapons, without anything, into the halls of Congress, into the Capitol Hill, the people's capital, which, by the way, other protesters have done much worse recently. And are they getting brought up on the charges? Are they thrown in jail for years until their federal cases, which takes years? There's some still going up on trial now. Over 3 years later. No. So under Merrick Garland, they want to find him in contempt, which goes into our next topic. Mike Johnson, Speaker of our House, facing yet another GOP turbulence amid the Trump convention and Biden tapes controversy. And let's all just say, Mike, Speaker of the House, Johnson, your resolve has been unbelievable, because a lesser of a person would have folded underneath the pressure. And even Mike McCarthy must feel for you, because you're your attempts, your intention always is to unite the GOP for a strong showing in the fall. You're trying to show a governance style, like governance, not just bending to the will of this extreme group or the wants of a few. Because the Speaker of the House, this particular Speaker of the House, realizes, as those that have come before him, he is not a Speaker of the House just for the Republicans. He is for the whole House. And that the House of Representatives has a duty to govern and have consensus and build collaborations. Again, something, an art form that has been lost when the last of the greats left. And that was 10 years ago. We have only seen absolute partisan dysfunction. So Speaker Johnson, trying to unite the GOP, faces a contentious decision regarding a vote that could test his narrow majority. And we're talking about 1 or 2 votes. Many Republicans are pushing to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for not releasing audio tapes of President Biden. Mind you, Garland didn't have a problem releasing tapes of President Trump. Again, duplicity. There's a dual system here. It is still too politicized. This move is fueled by the recent felony conviction of Donald Trump, which has intensified GOP anger at Democratic law enforcement. Johnson, having survived an attempt to oust him a month ago, although it was MTG, and honestly, can she please be put in the background of the room and take the mic away from her? Must now decide whether to schedule the contempt vote amid uncertainty over its potential success, which is smart. If you do not know whether you have the votes to find someone in contempt, you don't bring it forward. Why have more calamity? The contempt resolution was referred to the full House by 2 committees weeks ago. Johnson has indicated that the bill will come to the floor soon, though no date has been set. With the House returning from a break, the timing remains uncertain. Most Republicans support the resolution, but the party's slim majority means they cannot afford more than 1 or 2 defections. This situation highlights the delicate balance Johnson must maintain to satisfy both a pro-Trump base and swing voters, aiming to expand the GOP's House majority and reclaim the White House and Senate. The pressure on Johnson is evident as some Republican lawmakers remain undecided about the contempt vote. Representative Tim Burchett noted that Trump's guilty verdict might galvanize support. However, bringing the vote without solid backing is risky, as shown by the previous contentious vote on Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The February vote required 2 attempts and the return of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise from cancer treatment to secure enough support, illustrating the challenges of a divided Republican caucus. Johnson has been vocal in his support for contempt push, denouncing Trump's conviction related to the hush money payments. And in recent media interviews, he has emphasized oversight rather than voting, highlighting efforts by Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio to question Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg about prosecuting Trump. Okay. This is going to go into whole Marjorie Taylor Greene demanding that Congress do something about the New York state courts and stuff. Federal, state, also a division. Federal government does not have the right to impose on state government, whether we like it or not, whether you are applauding that Trump is a convicted felon or you are angry about it. I almost said another word. One thing is for sure, state court system is under the purview of the state. Everybody needs to stay in their lane. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has attempted and has attacked Johnson and was making ridiculous remarks on other Democrat congressional members, like not being able to see through their fake eyelashes. And she's an embarrassment. I'm sorry. Come after me if you want. She is an embarrassment. And as the GOP's majority is expected to grow slightly, Johnson must weigh the political impact. I ask at this point, what is the point of finding them in contempt? If you're going to find them in contempt, do you have the ability to get it? Because here's the bottom line is you're going to bring to a vote to find Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress because he refused to release these tapes. But yet the punishment, the department that's in charge of carrying through the contempt for potential criminal charges like Bannon has faced is Merrick Garland. It's not going to go anywhere. Why not try figuring out what is wrong with our system, how to figure out your ability or inability to govern. Figure out how to get us out of this economical spin that everybody is facing when they're going to the grocery stores, they're going to the pumps. I mean, my God, gas is $4.25 a gallon in Florida. Figure out what is most important to the American people. Figure out our damn security of our borders. Change immigration. I am Alina Gonzalez. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to wrap up this show with Joe Biden's latest executive order and also historic presidential election south of the border. Tune right back in.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company that time you're spent with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
President Biden, after stating for months, and we're talking since last November, saying that he can't do anything about the border or immigration, which we all knew, if you follow anything, was false, just recently, as in 2 days ago, initiated an executive order restricting asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border, aiming to address the significant challenge for his re-election campaign. And let's state this. This is because of the election. It's nothing more. Basically, President Biden, within the first week of him becoming president, he reversed everything that Trump did, an executive order for securing our border. And what's interesting is even if you look back in the Obama presidential administration, his head of Department of Homeland Security stated that if there were over 1,000 illegal crossings in a week, that was too many and it would flood our system. We were looking at 5,000 plus in certain areas. We have had an influx of a flood of undocumented aliens, illegal crossings, equaling almost 8 million in the last 3.5 years. So now, because both Democrats, Republicans, and independents, and the independents are the ones who everybody needs to get to, Biden took out his pen and issued an order. However, it remains uncertain whether these efforts will sway voters who are increasingly concerned about the surge of migrants during his presidency. Immigration and border security have emerged as top issues in the upcoming election, capitalizing upon by former Donald Trump. But it's not even just capitalizing by Trump. This is a huge issue for everyone. We're not even talking border states like Texas, Arizona, California. We're talking New Yorkers, Chicago, Illinois. I mean, everyone. Biden's shift towards stricter immigration policies contrasts sharply with his previous promises to restore asylum protections and criticize Trump's approach. While some of Biden's supporters urged him to reject border restrictions, the prevailing political landscape suggests a different reality. Okay, I'm throwing in a penalty flag here. Trump has a base that will stick with him no matter what. Biden is seeing that his base, the Democratic base, is really shaky. This is the only reason why he did this. Because his base is saying, what the heck are you doing? He has gone so far to an extreme that the base is shaky because people are getting upset. When you are losing your base, you are in trouble. And immigration is one of the top concerns across America. And when your base is not sufficient enough to get you elected on either side, hello, Republicans, hello, Democrats, neither one of you have enough vote to win anything because it's almost 28%, 26% of voters are Democrat or Republican. The vast majority, 43%, are non-party or independent. So with immigration consistently ranking as a top issue among voters, with the tension on the border, when you have Texas taking matters in their own hands, which has greatly reduced the crossings, when you have state structures and cities like New York City, the Big Apple, one of the wealthiest cities we have, saying that they do not have the funds to be able to, or infrastructure to support all these illegal immigrants, you have a problem. But it's still going to be a focal point. So will this last second executive order, or this push to show, hey, here I am, I'm an amazing president, look what I'm doing, I am strengthening the security of our nation and our borders by allowing a maximum of 2,500 per day, then we're going to say, oh, and you have to get a lawyer within 24 hours to indicate whether you have for you to fill out the paperwork. This is a political ploy. And bottom line, what's going to happen is if Biden wins, they'll just put in another executive order and free it up. This is a problem. This isn't about, and for those of you who want to say, you're a racist, I'm a Latina. Give me a break. This isn't about race. This is about right or wrong for those people who have immigrated to this great nation properly, for those that have sacrificed to be able to do it properly. Absolutely. But this also is a call to Congress because there needs to be legitimate immigration reform. This has been a battle cry of needing reform since, we had it close in Obama years. Marco Rubio actually was the one who wrote it up on the Republican side. It almost was identical to what Obama's administration did, just a few key words. But then the Tea Party came in and said, what? And then they quashed it. Again, we need common sense. But I will say one thing. For President Biden, you are a liar, sir, because you lied to the United States of America. You lied to the very people that you are supposed to be leading, saying that you couldn't do anything. This was only in the hands of the Congress, that only the Congress and House can do anything, when you could have, with a stroke of a pen, secured that border. And you still continue to do games with it by only saying, oh, well, you know what? We're not going to allow tens of thousands a day. We're going to limit it to 2,500. We're going to do this because I think that the constituents are so stupid that they're going to think I'm wonderful. No. We need leadership. We need common sense. I don't know who you're going to have it. It's like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel with both sides. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, whether it's Biden, Trump, Bobby Kennedy, or anything. And I haven't even brought up Bobby. Bobby actually still, he seems so common sense at times. And maybe he is. But I'm imploring you, my audience, do what's right. Get your common sense meters out. Get your BS meters out. And let's start calling bullshit on our politicians and saying, we're done with your political games. We're done with you playing with only what the RNC wants or DNC wants. And we demand better. We demand governance. We demand that the United States of America come first to our political elected abilities and not just to an extreme. Because when you have neighbors who are saying, I am scared for my country and I'm looking to leave, we have a problem. And let's flip it to the south of the border. Mexico elected its first female president. In Mexico, historic presidential election, Claudia Sheinbaum secured victory, poised to become the country's first female president. As the favored successor of outgoing President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, Sheinbaum pledges to continue his populist leftist agenda, but offers a departure from Mexico's traditionally male-dominated political landscape. She expressed gratitude to her supporters in Mexico's cities, Zocalo, and received concession calls from her competitors, Galvez and Maynez. Sheinbaum's Morena party is also expected to maintain its congressional majorities. The election marked a significant moment as both leading candidates were women. Something we have not seen here in the United States yet. I have faith, but yet. This is ensuring Mexico's historical shift, where women are becoming more prominent in key political roles. And Sheinbaum's victory margin was huge, and it echoed López Obrador's previous landslide win in 2018. Despite this, Sheinbaum's triumph did not evoke the same fervent response as her predecessor's victory, suggesting potential challenges ahead. And one of the main things was that Mexico's peso fell. It triggered a significant downturn in Mexican assets, because of the landslide victory of this ruling party. There's also the fact that Sheinbaum did go out on the campaign trail saying that she was going to, be stronger on criminal prosecutions of the cartels and stuff when you have rampant violence going on yet again by these cartels, these gangs. So I want to be one of the many voices congratulating President Sheinbaum. I wish her much luck in her presidential tenure, and I look forward to seeing that one day our United States may be able to celebrate our first female president, but I will celebrate Mexico's historic presidential election and winner. I am Alina Gonzalez Dockery. Thank you for tuning in to Purple Politics and going on this adventure and actually my little rant on what's going on with our judicial system. I am back. It is summer, and we are only a few short months away from the presidential election and other elections. So please tune back next week where we'll go further into what is going on in the United States and the craziness of the world. I am Alina Gonzalez. I want to wish you a great weekend and good night.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States.